Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my Asexualise. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my very own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live, like now, post a new video. So in a moment, we're going to be discussing asexual view of public breastfeeding. Yep. Okay. So if you don't know who I am Sandra Burnley, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book. So yes, if you want to know about love, life and sex from an asexual point of view, this is an ideal book to have. I'm also the author of this fibromyalgia self-help handbook, which helps you if you've got fibromyalgia or even if you've just got anxiety and depression. There's loads of techniques to help you have less pain in your life, feel happier and more energetic. The link's down below for those. So yes, asexual view of public breastfeeding. So I was talking to my mum yesterday, and on the TV there was a woman that was breastfeeding her child on an advert, and I just said to my mum, it's absolutely disgusting, and it just really makes me feel sick, to be quite honest. But I said to her, it's absolutely disgusting. I hate that type of thing. You know, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't understand why they do it. It's completely unnecessary. And she's like, oh, it's gone off now. And I'm like, and I said, but it's just so unnecessary. Like, why would I want to see another woman having a breast out in public with a kid sucking on it? And she's like, oh, that's what you're breastfeeding for. They're designed for babies to suck on them. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not what mine is designed for. Mine are just designed for me to look at. That's it. And she's like, well, you're just weird. And I'm like, oh. I'm thinking, yeah, I'd rather be weird than like that or think it's natural. To me, it's just completely unnatural. So I am a sex repulsed asexual. I am also a naked repulsed asexual and a pregnancy repulsed asexual. So I am coming from that point of view. But yeah, for me personally, I do not understand why people breastfeed in public. If they want to do that in private and they think it's natural with their own baby, that's up to them, right? What they do. But having it in public in front of other people, I think it's disgusting. It's like it's a private thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a private thing. Why do it in public? And I don't understand people's logic of why they would want to see another woman who's not themselves breastfeed. To me, it's just absolutely hideous and disgusting, because to me, it's not natural. I never have the inkling to have kids in my life. I've never had an inkling to have a baby. It's not my type of thing at all. I don't have those type of feelings in my body or in my being. I just don't. You know, like years ago when I used to have sex, obviously guys like sucking on breasts, and I'm not even into that these days. But if I was to choose between a baby and a guy doing it, a guy I was in a relationship with, I'd choose a guy every time. Like, because to me that's better than a baby doing it, because I'm just not into babies at all. I just kind of think it's a bit weird. To me, it's not natural at all. I think it's a bit weird that grown guys like doing that as well. But I can understand from a sexual turn-on arousal point of view why women like guys to do that. Or if you're hetero, obviously, if you're a woman, you probably like a woman doing that sometimes, if you're that way inclined, you know. So yes, it's not something I like. It's something that I don't think is necessary. I think obviously if you've got a baby, you're breastfeeding at home and you need to give breast milk to the baby. I understand that. It's logical, it's practical, it's what people generally do. And I can accept they might want to do that in their own home. That's okay, that's up to them. But personally, in public, I do not think it's a good thing. It's like, you wouldn't do that in any other circumstances usually. It's just weird. Like, if you did that in any type of other circumstance, you'd be like, well, you're flashing your bits in public and stuff like that. Mind you, when I went to the was a speaker at the UK Asexuality conference in 2018. There was LGBT people for Pride, and they were in one of the restaurants that I was in. I was eating my meal, and then there's a woman just lifting her top up with no bra on, flashing her boobs everywhere, stood on the table. It's like, I don't want to see it. It's disgusting. Again, if a guy was to flash his bits in public, going down the street, he'd be severely done by the police or something. You know, streakers that go onto, like, football pitches, they don't get a nice pat on the back and a woo-woo, they get told off. Right, so I don't see why it's one rule for one person and one rule for another. It's very bizarre to me. And it's something I really can't stand, you know, public breastfeeding. It's like, if you're going to do it in private, in your own home, do it in a toilet, do it in a baby unit. Just don't do it in front of me, because I just get very cringed out by it. And putting it on an advert, it's just totally unnecessary. You know, I just think it's to titillate, excuse the language, the people watching. You know, it really, because I don't even think the product, I can't even remember what it's about because I was trying to look away, and I just don't think the product had anything to do with, like, breast care or baby care. And I'm just like, this is totally unnecessary. This is just hideous. This is just weird. You know, why do you have to stick something on like that that's, yeah, okay, it's supposed to be natural, but if it's done in an advert, it's got nothing to do with bras or babies or breasts as such, it's to do with something completely different, and to me, it's just a bit like sexualized, if you know what I mean. It's just like, I don't see the point in it. I don't see the need for it. It's just disgusting to me. And, you know, if people are going to do that, just do it away from me. Just don't, you know. It's like, because I used to work in a place that had a nursery, it took me 2.5 years to get over pregnancy repulsion, like to not feel sick anymore, seeing pregnant women, because I used to work opposite a nursery, you know, like they sold babies, prams and all sorts, you know. And it's like, you know, and I remember one of the previous managers saying that he was, because the furniture was on the same floor. God knows why they put furniture with a nursery in kids' babies' clothes. It's ridiculous. But anyway, there's no logic to that either. Absolutely illogical. And they put like the pillows and duvets and stuff on a completely different floor when they should have put that with furniture, excuse me, and the nursery stuff downstairs. It makes no sense. Anyway, so yeah, I used to have to see stuff I didn't want to see, and one of the managers who left actually to go work somewhere else for the company, he was saying once he was talking to someone about the sofa, and the woman's just sat there, with her breast hanging out with the baby suckling on it, and he didn't really want to see it, and he was so embarrassed he didn't know where to put his eyes, you know. And she's like, it's just the baby's just on the end of it, and I just think it's totally unnecessary. It's like, it might be natural to her, the mother, might be natural to the baby, but it's like, do it elsewhere, in private. You've no need to do it in public. And so I'm just totally not interested in it. I just don't like it. It just cringes me out. And I know there's some asexuals, they don't mind this type of thing, and other asexuals do. You know, so for the asexuals that don't like it like I don't, I really understand where you're coming from, you know. And if I'm weird, who cares? If I'm weird, I'd rather be weird than like that. It just, that to me seems weird. And I remember once, I think I was in a asexual meetup, and a small meetup with a couple of, it was a meetup before a meetup, I think. It was with two of my asexual friends before an actual official meetup, and yeah, it was like there was a person behind who was like breastfeeding, and I was like trying to not look when I sat down, because I had to, like, you know, if I went to the toilet you could see them doing it, and I was like, no, it's putting me off my food, I don't want to see that, please. You know, so for me it just really cringes me out. I am asexual, I lack sexual attraction. I don't like the naked body, especially women's being on display. To me, that is not natural, and I think bodies look far better clothed. I think they look far more appealing. I'd rather have a guy clothed and snog in the sense that it's clothed than see any of his dangly bits. I'm okay with the guys, top off, chat, and seeing his chest if it's not hairy and if it's nice. I'm not really into muscles either. That doesn't really do anything for me. So yeah, yes, what can I say? If you are asexual and you understand where I'm coming from about the public breastfeeding, let me know. If you disagree with me, that's fine also, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion and difference of opinion, and I know probably quite a few people won't agree with me, and that's fine. Just that I think for some asexuals, they would understand where I'm coming from, and they'll be like, hallelujah, thank God someone else understands how I'm feeling, because the average heterosexual person, for example, is not really going to be thinking this way, I wouldn't have thought. It's probably more like someone like an asexual person is going to be thinking more like this type of thing, but I think even some guys feel a bit uncomfortable with other guys, probably just love it in a sexual way. I have to say that, might sound disgusting, but it's true. It's like, I know quite a few foreign guys who are nurses, and they love looking at the female body, and it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, how many doctors and nurses do their job but really getting a kick out of looking at the naked body? It's just a bit disgusting and hideous, really, but it does go on sometimes, and you're like, really? I know an Indian guy from years ago who's a nurse, right? Highly sexual guy. And I'm thinking, God, I don't know what must happen when you look at female patients, because I just used to message him about kissing, like the way I like to kiss, and he used to get turned on by it and stuff. And or sometimes I wouldn't even talk about kissing. I'd just be messaging him, and it's like, he used to get turned on and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And so he's actually a nurse at a hospital in another country, and I'm like, but I would, it would creep me out if I knew he was like that, and I was a patient that had to be served by him. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like really weird what goes on behind the scenes that people just don't realise, And so, yeah, for me, it's all a bit cringy. It's a bit like, oh my God. But personally, I don't understand why any woman would want to see another woman do that. Like, why do you want to see another woman's breast hanging out with a baby hanging off it? To me, that's just disgusting and illogical. Obviously, if you're a lesbian, I can kind of understand that. But I know there's going to be women who are like my mum, think it's really natural and great, even though it's not her breasts, it's someone in the adverts. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously going to be quite a lot of women, and my mum's heterosexual. She's been married to my dad for 52 years in May. So yeah, yes. So that's my opinion on breastfeeding in public. I personally don't like it. I think it's disgusting. I am repulsed by it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think people should be putting it in adverts, especially if it's got nothing to do with what's going on. And I just really cringes me out. The whole thing cringes me out. I think if people want to do that in their own home, fine. If they need to do it in a hospital, if they've just given birth, I understand that. But probably you'd want to pull the curtain around you or something. Do you know what I mean? And just like, you know what I mean? I can understand women having to go off to the toilet or baby changing room to do that. And, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got no other choice and you've got to put the baby first, maybe something like that. But you know what I mean? There's always a car you can usually go in, and if you're driving and stuff like that, or a toilet you can go in and stuff like that. I just don't think it's necessary the majority of the time, And so yeah, I'd love to know what you think. Please post it down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you completely disagree with me and think it's totally natural? I'm cringing right now when I say that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I know some asexuals have babies, so some asexuals will probably breastfeed and like doing that and enjoy it and think it's natural too, and like I said, some asexuals, they want to have kids, they want to have babies. Some will have sex just for the baby and then to get pregnant and then never have sex ever again. Others might do it more. So everyone's different. Every asexual's different, and you're all perfectly valid. Everyone's valid. Anyway, like I said, post your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think about this. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you think any of your friends want to comment on this, pop them in the my comments section here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any asexual friends, get them to come on this channel as well in the chat, or subscribe. And if they want to be a silent observer, they can be a silent observer as well. And yeah, subscribe. And after you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Lots of love to you.